Okay, it's time to talk about the past tense
네.
in Korean. So, Robert, let's take a look at how to make verbs in the past tense.
네.
A very simple rule, right?
네, 아주 간단해요.
Right, so we've got ayo, heyo, and oyo.
네.
So for our present tense, always the same ending in casual, polite Korean, right? So the ayo, heyo, oyo.
네.
When we want to make the past tense, we simply have to add
네.
상시읒
그렇죠.
and oyo.
네, 네.
Okay,
그래서 이거예요.
right.
이거.
So-
그래서 you delete 요.
Yeah.
그다음에 just
Okay, so ayo becomes as어요.
네. 해요.
heyo becomes 했어요.
네.
And oyo becomes os어요. Okay.
네.
Those are the three cases. Just like in present, in the present tense, we only have three endings. So for the past tense, again, it's the same endings, but with 상시읒 oyo.
네.
Okay.
No exceptions.
No exceptions.
Right. And adjective, verb doesn't matter.
Right.
그다음에 first, second, third person doesn't matter.
Right.
Singular, plural doesn't matter. 네.
Right. As simple as possible.
네.
Right? Okay. So let's take a look at our dialogue here. We've got two versions of this kind of, right? So A says,
지금 뭐 해요? 친구를 만나요.
mhm.
어제 뭐 했어요? 친구를 만났어요.
Wow, this person loves to hang out with their friends. All right, so in the first case, 지금 뭐 해요? What are you doing now?
네.
Right, 지금, of course, means now. 뭐 해요 means
What do?
what do. Okay, so I can read this as, what do you do now? What are you doing now?
네.
Okay, the answer is,
친구를 만나요.
Right.
Or 친구 만나요.
right, so we have our object marker here, the 를, but often that will be omitted.
Right?
So 친구를 만나요, 친구 만나요.
네.
만나요 means to meet. So 친구, friend, meet.
네.
So I'm meeting my friends, I meet my friend. Again, it could be plural, it could be singular, right?
Right.
Okay, and in the past, instead of 지금, instead of now, we're talking about 어제,
네.
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Okay, so 어제 뭐 했어요? And the answer is,
친구를 만났어요.
okay. So our verb 해요, 하다, right, becomes 해요 in present. 하다 becomes 해요. When we talk about the past, 했어요.
했어요.
Okay, so just tagging on 상시읒,
네.
the double S, and 어요.
네.
Okay, and our verb 만나요 becomes
만났어요.
만났어요.
네.
Okay,
그래서 항상 just 그냥 만났어요.
yeah,
만났어요. 했어요.
right. Yeah, always the same thing.
Always same.
So in every case, there are no exceptions.
No, no.
Just tagging on the same
Right.
했어요.
네.
Okay. So, well, why don't we go down to the bottom here?
Sure.
So our first example,
밥을 먹어요.
밥을 먹어요.
네.
Okay, so 밥 can mean,
네, it could mean cooked rice.
Okay.
Or it could mean meal.
A meal,
just
a
한국
full meal.
사람, 네, 한국 사람 심지어 누들 먹었을 때도 밥 먹었어요. 이렇게 말하는 수도
Yeah.
있어요.
so it doesn't matter if you actually eat rice.
그렇죠. 네.
Rice can be used, the word 밥 can be used just to say meal,
네, 네.
right? But it's very common for Koreans to eat rice at every meal, right?
Oh yeah.
So that
그래서-
makes sense.
런치 타임에 밥 먹었어요? Did you have meal?
Yeah.
Did you have lunch? 그거예요.
Right. Yeah, so just like saying 밥을 먹어요, like for the present tense, that's a common greeting in
네,
Korea, right?
네, 네.
So did you eat?
그렇죠.
So 밥을 먹었어요 or 밥 먹었어요? Right. So again, our verb to eat, 먹어요,
먹다, 먹어요.
becomes
먹었어요.
먹었어요.
이렇게
Okay.
먹었어요.
Yeah.
그래서 밥을 이렇게 먹어 여기다가
써요.
먹었어요.
Okay. Good. Yeah, and like I said, this is a common greeting in Korean,
네,
right?
네.
So I remember when I first came to Korea, somebody asking me, 밥 먹었어요?
네.
And I thought I really had to answer, like, oh yeah, I had, rice and
네.
vegetables. And
네.
they didn't care. It was just them being polite,
네, 네.
Okay, so our next example.
책을 읽어요.
Okay. So 책을 읽어요 means to read a book.
네.
Okay, so reading a book.
음흠.
So to talk about that in the past.
네. 여기 and same. 읽었어요. 그리고 요거 carry over 해요. 읽었어요.
Right. Yeah, so the verb 읽다, it ends in that kind of G, K consonant sound.
네.
So yeah, we carry it over
음흠.
in our pronunciation. So 읽었어요.
네.
Okay.
읽었어요.
읽었어요. So I read a book. All right, so again, talking in the past, we just add 상시어요.
네.
All right, and our last example.
오늘 추워요.
Okay, 오늘 추워요.
네.
오늘 means today.
Today.
추워요,
Cold.
cold.
네.
So 오늘 추워요 means today is cold.
네.
Okay.
네, 이거는 infinitive form이 이거예요.
Yeah, this is one of our irregular
네.
adjectives, right?
네, 네.
So any adjective or verb that ends in the 비읍
네.
in the verb stem, right?
그 adjective. 그러면 이걸 바뀌어요. 이렇게. 그래서 요거를 이렇게 하고 그 다음에 regular conjugation.
Okay.
이게 우니까 아니죠? 그래서 여기다가 you add onto this guy. 이렇게.
Yeah, this is one of the harder
네.
adjectives to conjugate. So
네, 네.
춥다 becomes 추워요.
네.
Okay. Now, say it's the end of the day, and I want to say that today was cold.
네. 추웠어요.
추웠어요. Okay. So
추웠어요.
same rule,
네.
even if conjugating in the present is a little more difficult.
네.
추워요 becomes 추웠어요.
네.
Okay.
그래서 maybe one more. 이거 맵다.
맵다?
김치.
Spicy?
네. 그러면 이것도 so 매 stay same. 근데 this 비읍
Becomes 우
becomes
again.
우.
Yep.
Then 어요 on it. 매워요. 김치가 매워요.
Right. So kimchi is spicy.
음.
김치가 매워요. Okay. And to say in the past it was spicy.
매웠어요.
Right. So same ending here. 추워요, 매워요. So
네.
we just add 상시읒.
네.
Okay. So 매웠어요. How about the opposite of cold?
그것도 같아요. 덥다.
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 Right. So 춥다 is cold. 덥다 is hot.
네. 그래서 이렇게 해서 더 그다음에 요거 우 and then 어요. 더워요.
Yeah. So anytime you see an adjective or a verb that ends in the 비읍
adjectives.
adjectives. Okay.
네.
Okay. So yeah. So in the case of 춥다, cold,
네.
덥다, hot,
네.
always you have to change.
더워요.
Yeah. So it's a little difficult to get the hang of.
네, 맞아요. 그리고 또 this one gives hard time for my student in pronunciation.
Difficult.
네, 네.
Yeah.
difficult. 어렵다.
Yeah. So 어렵다 means difficult, and
네.
it is difficult to conjugate. So
네, 맞아요.
how do we conjugate 어렵다?
네, 이렇게. 그 다음에 우. 요거.
Yeah.
그 다음에 이렇게. 어려워요.
어려워요. Yeah.
어려워요.
I think this is a little difficult for pronunciation because the 어려 and then 워. So 어려워요.
어려워요. difficult. 어려워요.
Yeah.
그럼 what's the easy? What about easy?
쉽다.
네, 그것도. Oops. 감사합니다.
No problem.
네.
Okay. So yeah, so even 쉽다 to mean easy.
네. 이것도 같아요. 그러니까 she, same. 그 다음에 우, from this 비읍. And then 어요. 쉬워요.
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 Right. So the opposite of 어렵다 is 쉽다,
네.
and 어려워요, 쉬워요.
네.
Okay.
어려워요.
Yeah.
difficult. 어려워요. 쉬워요. easy. 쉬워요. 쉬워요.
쉬워요. Right.
네.
All right. So those are a couple of examples of
비읍.
these kind of exceptions, irregular.
네.
Now, Robert,
네.
we're only talking about kind of the past as in yesterday.
네.
Why don't we give a couple more examples to talk about maybe going back further
네.
into the past.
네.
So how about not yesterday, but last week?
그러면 지난주.
지난주.
주가 week예요.
Right. So 지난 means last.
네.
Okay. So
past.
in the past.
네.
Oh, the past. Okay. So the past week or last week. So instead of saying 어제 뭐 했어요,
네.
I would say,
지난주에 뭐 했어요?
okay, so I need to use the time marker.
네. 지난주에 뭐 했어요?
Okay. So 지난주에 뭐 했어요, I don't have to change anything for the past though.
No.
So if it's yesterday, if it's last week,
Right.
it stays the same. All right. Let's go even further into the past.
네. 그러면 지난달.
지난달.
예.
Okay, so 달 means
month.
month,
네.
right? Okay. Can I say 지난월?
아니에요. 이거는 이제 이게 pure Korean이기 때문에 pure Korean.
Okay.
네.
Okay, so 달 means month,
네.
월 means month,
음.
but in pure Korean we use 달.
그렇죠. 이건
오케이.
달은 그러니까 in the sky, moon, 달이에요.
Okay.
달. 그래서 여기도 이제 month도 달, same.
Okay.
이렇게 moon, month, right?
Okay. So 지난달,
지난달.
last month. Same question.
그렇죠.
Do I use 에? Do I use a time
네,
marker?
네. 여기 다에 있어요. 지난달에.
So instead of 어제,
음.
지난달에 뭐 했어요?
그렇죠.
What did you do last month?
네.
Okay. Let's keep going. How about,
네.
well, how about actually, how about 2 weeks ago?
아, 그러면 그거는 이제 좀 달라요. 2주 전에 에는 같아요. 근데
Yep.
before 2 weeks.
Okay, so 2 weeks before.
네.
2주 전에.
2주 전에.
So if I want to say 3 weeks before, 3주 전에.
3주 전에.
Okay. 전 always means before, right?
그렇죠.
So maybe if you talk about the time, a.m. is 오전,
그렇죠.
right? So
네.
before noon, 오전. So 전 again means before here. So 2주 전에, we have last week, we have last month. How about 3 months ago?
아우, 그거는 이제 전에 same.
Mm-hmm.
여기 달이 될 수도 있고 또 개월이 될 수도 있어요.
Okay. Yeah, so again, there are 2 different words
네.
for month and for moon, right? So if I read this way, because it's pure Korean, should I say 세?
네.
Okay, so 세 달 전에.
3달 전에.
Okay, again, because I'm using it with 달, I use pure Korean numbers. 세 달 전에
네.
with 개월.
이거는 이제 한자예요, 이게.
So from
Okay.
Chinese character.
네.
Okay. So maybe instead of saying 세, I would
삼.
say 삼.
네.
Okay, 3개월 전에.
그렇죠.
Okay.
3개월 전에.
I still use 전에 with that.
네, 네.
All right. Okay, we've done yesterday, we've done last week, 2 weeks ago, last month, 3 months ago. How about a full year?
아. 그건 지난
지난.
같아요. 지난 해에 해가 sun in the sky
Okay.
그리고 또 year도 돼요.
So for year and for sun, we use the word 해. This is pure Korean.
네,
Okay, so last year.
네,
Again with the marker 에. To say 지난, last, and 해.
네.
Okay. There's another way to say this too, right?
네. 그거는 이제 작년 using 한자
Okay. So 년 means year, and jak
past.
past.
last.
Okay. Can I use this with anything else, jak?
뭐 작년에
Could I use it with month as well?
안 돼요. 그거는
Okay.
이것만 돼요. 이것만
So I can't say 작월.
안 돼요.
Okay. All right.
작년.
So those are a couple of examples of different phrases for the past, different
네.
terms for the past.
그리고 이건 발음이 작년.
Right. Yeah. Again, the pronunciation changes here
네, 작년.
because of our nasal
그렇죠.
consonant. So this becomes more of an NG sound.
네,
So
작-
instead of 작년,
음,
작년.
작년.
Okay.
네.
The rest of it stays the same.
네.
Yeah. So past tense is pretty easy to
네.
figure out once you've understood this rule.
네.
Doesn't matter how far into the past we're talking about, right?
Right.
Okay.